then you can, pursue maybe something similar to that in government contracting. Hey guys, what's going on? GovKid Method here. I'm going to try to do this video all in one take. I'm not too far from the street, so hopefully the street noise isn't too bad or too loud. I got some cars going by here. But in today's video, I'm actually responding to another comment that I received that kind of hit on some things that have been bothering me a little bit in terms of feedback. Not bothering me, but it's just something I've wanted to respond to for a little while. So this comment comes from Donald Likens, and Donald asks, how can I, find a target niche in government contracting? And so there's some kind of inherent things that question assumes. So that's kind of what led me to wanting to address some of the things that I've been thinking about, the feedback I've been receiving the last few months. So the video today is going to obviously be about how do you target your industry's niche, but I'm going to take it to a different level, and I'm just going to talk about industry, because I have a lot of people saying, what kind of GovCon business should I open? In one of my free courses right now, I talk about different industries that government contracting offers, which means essentially, well, the government is buying, contracts, soliciting contracts and solicitations for this type of work. I talk about the dirty dozen, 12 different industries in that free course. But my intent for that is just to educate you. If you're trying to start from scratch and you have no business experience, you don't know anything about a particular industry, and you're just going to say, okay, I'm going to go into cyber, or I'm going to open up a construction company for government contracting, and I'm going to win construction government contracts. But if you have no experience, just because that's like one of the 12 that I listed, that's not me telling you that that's what you should do. For example, in that course and another one of my videos, I talk about taking personal inventory to help you decide, like, hey, it's good to know that these options and opportunities are here in government contracting and GovCon. But more importantly, you have to take a personal inventory. What do you have personal experience doing? Have you worked, for a few years or 5 years or 10 years in another job where you've gained a lot of experience and you haven't been able to utilize it, and you're going to use that towards a GovCon business? Or do you have a colleague or a friend that's in an industry that you want to learn, that you can shadow and spend time learning that industry, and then take that knowledge to, go into a GovCon business? I talk about taking that approach. And so the reason I'm responding to this comment, and Donald, I'm not saying this was you necessarily, but it might be. So either way, I've received a lot of feedback of people who are coming from this standpoint of, hey, I have a job, I have no experience in the type of GovCon business I'm trying to go into, or, I have no experience and I want to open a GovCon business. So maybe I just want to, wholesale items. I'm getting a whole lot of that. I just want to wholesale items. I just want to drop ship. Essentially, you don't really want to do any hard work. It's kind of, I didn't want to say it, but for some folks, I know it's really hot in the industry. The whole Amazon thing with fulfillment by Amazon, FBA, all that. There's not a huge opportunity for that in GovCon, and I don't want to break any hearts in this video. But I try to keep it real. I try to keep it transparent. If there was any confusion about the course that I made of what you should sell to the government, it was me letting you know the opportunity that's there, and then telling you to take a personal inventory. There's that busy road again. Telling you to take a personal inventory of what's a good fit for you. I can show you how to, search by spending by NAICS codes and research agencies, and find, on paper, kind of like the best thing to go after, staffing, whatever. I got ants. I'm being eaten alive by ants here underneath this tree. Staffing, I talk a lot about staffing, and people seem to resonate with that because there's low barrier to entry and stuff like that. But that doesn't get you out of the fact of you have to know the industry. You know, like, do you know what payroll taxes are? Do you know the percentage of FICA, FUTA, and SUTA that you have to pay into for a staffing company? Do you know how to price for vacation, you know, and other overhead and G&A? You still have to learn the industry. And I've never been an advocate of saying you don't have to learn the industry. You can just go into the government contracting and sell. And that seems to be the disconnect. You still have to learn, because I can teach you guys government contracting, but I can't teach you how to price for every industry that exists. I don't know it. I am ignorant in many different areas of businesses. I have a little bit of experience in manufacturing. I have a good amount of experience in construction. I have a good amount of experience in staffing. Got a little bit of experience in IT, because these are things that, you know, my business sold, the business sold rather, for the government contractor that I worked for. But who the hell knows every industry? And me as a coach, I can't educate you on every single industry's pricing models and how to be competitive and how to actually be successful and do the work in that industry. Me as a coach, that is not my job. My job is to help you navigate the government contracting arena, to help save you time spending years trying to figure this stuff out and wasting, you know, thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. That's my mission, to help you win your first contract or your first few government contracts, and to win them a lot sooner than what you would have done just kind of going out on your own in the dark trying to figure stuff out, right? So again, coming back to this comment, if you have no experience and you have no idea what industry or niche you want to get into government contracting, then you shouldn't be getting into government contracting just yet. You have to figure that out, because if you're going to rush to get registered and start looking at proposals, or, you know, solicitations rather, RFPs and RFQs on beta.sam, but you don't even know what you're looking for because you still haven't even decided what business you're in, you're really putting the cart before the horse. I mean, if you look at my courses, it's why I have figuring out what you should sell to the government as step number 2, I believe. And then after that, I think step number 3 is then you register your business. There's a reason why I don't have register as number 1. You have to do some research and, you know, just some soul searching, whatever. If you're an entrepreneur, if you're a true entrepreneur, I shouldn't have to tell you to do this. I shouldn't have to tell you to figure out what business you're going to do. If you're an entrepreneur, you're doing that whether Derek's here, whether I'm gone, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you have that in your blood. If you're just waiting around for somebody trying to tell you what to do each step of the way, you're not going to make it, because I can't be there for the 100 steps that you have to take. I can be there to shorten the learning curve for you and you know, save you a lot of circles a long way around. But as an entrepreneur, you got to figure this stuff out. You're going to come up against stuff that's hard. And I mean, having a GovCon business, having any business, you really have to give it 2 to 3 years. I mean, that's what they teach you in business school. That's the common accepted term by everybody. You have to give a business for 2 to 3 years. So can you ask yourself, hey, are you going to be doing GovCon for the next 2 to 3 years? If, you know, if you're just getting started out and you're just say, hey, I'm going to give this 3 to 6 months, and if it doesn't work out, I'm going to move on to something else. If that's you, just save your time now, save your money, save everything, and don't do it, okay? Because you have to give it 2 to 3 years. And I'm saying that because it kind of goes along with, if you don't even know what type of business you want to get into, then you kind of have to question, are you a true entrepreneur? Is this something that you really want to do? Or are you just using it as a, you know, a cop-out to get out of your job? Not a cop-out, that's the wrong word, but are you using it as a way to mentally check out? Is it something you're mentally telling yourself, oh, I can finally leave my job and I'll do this GovCon business? Is it just like an excuse that you're allowing yourself to feel good about for a few months, and then when it actually comes to taking the action, you're not hard enough to actually get it done? Because, you know, we're getting to real talk right now, and I know with some of you guys this is really hitting home. Like I said, I don't want to break any hearts, but it's my job to keep it real, to clarify anything that may be misunderstood. I wear my badges on being transparent and genuine, okay? That is what I aim to be as a coach. So I'm not trying to break any hearts. If I know a lot of you are probably going to be surprised by this, but you must understand, if you don't know how to get into an industry, you don't know how to price it. And when I say price it, you really have to compete against the other people, the other small business owners in your industry who are winners. So if you don't even know what you're doing and you're going up against winners, how are you going to win? It's gonna take a while for you to learn your industry, and I can't teach you that. Like, maybe do that for 2 years and then come back, if that's kind of how you're feeling. You know what I'm saying? Now, you can start from scratch and you can go after bids that don't require, for example, past performance. Not everything requires past performance. A lot of things just require, pricing and require you to be registered. You can do that, okay? You can definitely do that. But the people who are doing that are not asking me what niche they should get into. They're just taking the bull by the horns and they're going for it. So that's why I never say you can't do that. You can start from scratch and not have a business, but don't ask me where to get started. If you're asking where to get started, it's already too late. You have to go back to the drawing board and figure out where you're going to get started. But if you kind of already have an idea of what you're going to do, and you know that you don't have past performance and you're fine with that, then cool. Like, that's an entrepreneurial trait. I hope you see the difference between the two, because that's really what I'm trying to identify here and shine a spotlight on. If you need somebody to tell you what to do every step of the way and you're not going to be resourceful, and again, Donald, this is not in any way targeted at you. It's just a mass feedback that I've received that I'm responding to, and this was just an opportunity to respond to. Donald, you may be talking about something more, like I said, niche within a particular industry, and you may already know what industry you're going into, in which case, it totally, it's not regarding that point. It's just in general. If you don't know what you're doing, you have to figure it out. You have to figure it out before you get into GovCon. Okay, GovCon is, not a get rich quick. I've said that in multiple videos. GovCon is not the place to just quit your job and say, I'm going to go do GovCon. You can't do that. You have to give it 2 to 3 years, and giving it 2 to 3 years means you have to be focused on an industry. And if you're going to be focused on an industry, that means you've already done the research and you've already learned, what it takes to price and be successful in that industry to win contracts, right? And then do that for 2 to 3 years, right? That's really what it takes. And I know a lot of you guys, you're not even close to that. And so this is my call to you to, if some of you, if you're just, I'm calling you out. If you're using this as an excuse or a mental escape or a get rich quick, I'm calling you out. This is not that. You should quit while you're ahead. If you're thinking of starting GovCon right now, but you can't honestly say you're going to be doing it 2 years from now, then save yourself the time and don't do it, because you have to make that level of commitment to learn your industry, to price, to do everything it takes in terms of the business development activities. So this is not at all like the rant video like I did before, but this is just creating some more space and transparency around a lot of the feedback that I've received. And again, Donald, thank you for this comment, because this was a good opportunity for me to respond to this. Not trying to stir the pot. And I hope you find this as being genuine to help you. Again, as a coach is not always about, just giving you tools and tips. Sometimes a coach tells you the stuff that's hard to hear and gets you back on the right path when you need it. And I do kind of get a gauge that there's some of you that need this correction. This is not a place to just jump on for the short term, and then just expect somebody to tell you what industry to go into. What's the hot industry? That is not it. In my videos, I talk about building a legacy. I talk about building generational wealth, something that you can give to your kids. That's not like drop shipping items like you do on Amazon. That's way different. That's not going to be here in 10 years. I don't know if you guys know about Google, but Google is really starting to compete with Amazon, and Amazon is losing, its share price and everything is going through the roof. But that whole, partners program, there's getting a lot of competition through Google. So easy come, easy go. We'll see where that's at in 5 years. Don't use that as a business model for GovCon at all. I've seen so many people reaching out, kind of asking to do that. you really got to learn a business. You got to learn a business that you can hang your hat on at the end of the day. So I'm sure I'll get some comments on this video. I hope you take it as it's intended, and I'll see you in the next one. Hope this helps, guys.